From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather, live at 5.
Mostly clear skies across the Tennessee Valley as we head into the early evening on this Friday. Here's a live look at the Arctic Air Skycam network. Just a few high, thin, spotty clouds here and there, nothing of consequence, and we are going to be clear as we head through the overnight. We were between the mid-40s to the lower 50s across the region for daytime highs today. We're falling back into the mid-40s as of the 5 o'clock hour over northwest Alabama. Lower 40s for the most part over southern middle Tennessee, but the Lawrenceburg Airport already down to 39, and with clear skies, winds calming down overnight, and dry air we're going to drop efficiently with radiation cooling well down into the 20s. No precipitation with no clouds in place. As you would expect, high pressure will be in charge of the forecast for the next 24 hours before big weather changes for the second half of the weekend. Tonight, though, winds calming down. They'll still be around 5 miles per hour this evening, calming down into the overnight. And that will allow temperatures to drop here into the low to mid-20s across southern middle Tennessee, mid-20s over northwest Alabama and northeast Mississippi. Mostly sunny for a large part of our Saturday, although clouds do start to move in back late into the afternoon. Daytime highs tomorrow into the lower 40s over southern middle Tennessee and the low to mid-40s over northwest Alabama, northeast Mississippi, with a north wind continuing around 5 miles per hour. Clouds will increase for our Saturday night, maybe a spotty shower after midnight, and with temperatures into the lower 30s. I can't rule out a sleet pellet after midnight Saturday night toward daybreak on Sunday morning, but with light precipitation, not a lot of dynamic cooling, so I'm not expecting too much in the way of sleet to mix in, and I'm not expecting travel problems or anything like that. Off and on showers for the daytime hours of Sunday. The heavier rain moves in after sunset Sunday evening with the line of showers and thunderstorms moving in. They may be severe to the west of us where temperatures are able to climb into the 60s, but we're going to be stuck in the 50s here for daytime highs, so we're just not going to have the instability for severe storms. Unlike last Saturday where we got into the mid-60s, completely different situation this time. However, heavy rain moving in after sunset into the overnight hours, rumbles of thunder, yes, and because of this tight pressure gradient with the low pressure close by, there could be some gradient wind gusts even away from storms that are 30, 40, 45 miles per hour. Can't even rule out an isolated 50 mile per hour gust overnight. So there could be some isolated power issues, just not expecting the same type of storms that we had last weekend because the temperatures are going to be cooler and we don't have the instability. That moves out of the way before sunrise. Clouds hang tough on Monday, colder air spilling in, and yes, it's looking more and more likely we will have some snow flurries and light snow showers here wrapping around on the backside on Monday. Just something pretty to look at, not expecting any accumulation or impact from that. That clears on out going into Monday night, and then the Arctic air spills in for the rest of the week with partly cloudy skies here. Daytime highs next week into the 30s, the lower part of the 30s, and overnight lows by the middle of next week down into the mid to upper teens. Here's the temperature breakdown. 40s here for our Saturday. And then we're into the 50s briefly Sunday late in the afternoon and the evening with that storm system coming in. And then for next week, it's in the 30s here for daytime highs. And notice by Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, morning lows down into the mid to upper teens. So Arctic air certainly on the way next week. Now here is the big elephant in the room that's been getting a lot of attention on social media this week. You know, we have tried to be more responsible about this because it's been too far out to talk about. Well, as of today, it's starting to sneak into the 7-day forecast period. So it is time to start talking about this. So we're going to have to watch out for a Gulf of Mexico low late next week, roughly in the Thursday night, Friday to maybe Saturday time frame here. There are some timing differences. What we know now is that leading into this, cold air will be in place and available, which is one of the big check marks here for wintry weather that we often have to worry about. But we are going to have high confidence in cold air being around. However, what we have very, very low confidence in is the track of the low pressure and how strong it will be late next week Some model data has it closer to the coast, which would throw moisture farther northward into our region where the cold air is. Other models are farther south and weaker with it and keep the moisture south. If we have a stronger, more organized low pressure, we are more likely to have moisture thrown northward into the cold air, and that may result in some wintry weather in our area late next week. However, if the low pressure is weaker and farther to the south, the moisture can't make it to meet up with the cold air. The moisture will stay farther south, and we are likely to stay cold and dry if that is the circumstances. Too far out yet. We're still in the period of time where we're just watching for trends. We're just watching for consistency. We can't give details yet on exactly how this is going to play out. And honestly, there may not be a whole lot of details to give all the way through the weekend. Even through Saturday and Sunday, we're still only watching for trends and consistency. It's going to be the start of next week before we start really locking onto an idea of just how this is going to play out. We will continue to watch it. This is not a guarantee for wintry weather in our region late next week. This is just something we're going to have to watch carefully and keep checking back for updates as we see how it's going to play out. To be honest, the only reason we're even talking about it at this point is because it is within that 7-day window, and we're kind of backed into a corner where we have to. If it wasn't within 7 days, we still would not be talking about it just yet. Mostly sunny skies here for a large part of tomorrow. Clouds increasing late in the day, low to mid 40s across the area. And then Sunday, and especially Sunday night, is when we have the rainy conditions, the windy conditions, thundery conditions. No severe storms expected, no tornado threat, anything like that, but maybe some gusty gradient winds of 35 to 45 miles per hour. That is strong enough to possibly cause isolated, short-lived power outages, so be aware of that. Colder air wrapping in Monday, some flurries and light snow showers. Nothing of consequence with that. Clearing and colder through next week, and then again, we'll watch late next week for the possibility of a Gulf low system. But for right now, many more questions than answers at this point. There's Look Your latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.